Hey,
Ready?
everybody.
Hi,
Yeah,
everybody. Welcome to Buzzing About Romance Happy Hour Edition. Tonight, we are celebrating author Gina Azzi. Becky, you want to read her bio for us?
I do. Hold on one second. I'm not.
Oh,
Okay. Hold on. We haven't switched. Oh, there we are. Now we switched over from the original title page to the next one. Listen, it's been a long day. I've been up since 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
wait, hold on.
I'm,
I'm like doubling up here.
I am not a morning person. We're just a mess. This is us. Welcome to our mess. Um, okay.
Thank you.
Gina Z, are we saying your last name right? This is how we keep saying
Yeah, it's Azzy.
Azzy.
Okay.
Azzy.
Okay.
Yeah, I always tell people it's pizza. It's pizza spelled backwards without the P, and everyone's like, "That's not helpful." So it's Azzy.
Gina Azzi, right? Okay.
Yes,
If
you got it.
I'm gonna butcher your name anyway. So Gina,
Good.
our friend here, writes heartwarming contemporary romance filled with good men putting in work to win the hearts of even better women. She is the author of the Boston Hawks hockey series, Second Chance Chicago series, the Kane Brothers series, Finding Love in Scotland series, the College Pack series, and the Corner of Ocean and Bay. Gina is a book-obsessed, coffee-drinking, globe-trotting mama of three, a Jersey girl at heart. She spent her 20s traveling the world, living, working abroad, before settling down in Ontario, Canada with her family. Welcome. We're so happy to have you.
Welcome.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
We're
Okay,
excited to have you.
The rules of the night, for those of you that are here, you can ask all the questions you want in the chat and we will do our best to answer them. I do have chat access tonight, so that's exciting. The last couple I haven't, so Becky's had to do all that work. In the description are all of the links that to the places you can connect with Gina or us. We put both of those. You can follow, like, and subscribe at the end of the night. And one lucky person will win not swag tonight. We don't have a swag
Not
filled box.
swag. We are going to gift them an e-copy of each of the three
e-copies, yes.
Boston
All
Hawks
three
books.
of the Boston Hawks. And you will
Because
not
we
be
love
sorry.
them.
Because
we
they're
love them.
so good.
I'm
So good.
glad.
So let's kick this off in our traditional way. Gina, what are you drinking
Yes.
tonight?
I am drinking a Paloma.
Mhm.
So for anyone who's read The Faker, Torsten is all about tequila. And so I thought I have to go with tequila tonight. So my husband just made this for me. I'm not that great at mixing up drinks.
That's nice
I think
of
that's
him.
why we keep the husbands, because mine, made mine.
Yeah,
So.
Becky,
excellent.
what are you
What are you
drinking
drinking?
tonight?
I have a Mexican mule. I have Bundenberg. So
What is Bundenberg?
it is the best ginger beer on the planet. It is
Okay.
so
Writing this down.
yummy.
Bundenberg.
Yeah. Well, and Gina, you're in Canada, so I think you can get the Bundenberg rum that we cannot get in the States. But it's a family farm down in Australia that they grow sugarcane, and then they make rum, and then they have like different flavored ginger beer, root beer, and all these really cool, interesting flavors. And my husband's family's from there. And it comes in a little short, squat brown bottle. It has like pieces of candied ginger in the bottom.
It sounds awesome.
Best ginger beer.
Great.
Best
I'm going to
ginger
check
beer.
out the rum and I will report back to you if we have it.
Excellent. I can get to Windsor in 90 minutes, but the border's closed, so it's fine.
I know.
Just throw it across.
Yes.
So we do have. Oh, Leah, what are you drinking? Before I tell you,
I'm
who's
actually
here?
drinking a Paloma tonight, also. So.
Yum. Apparently missed the memo on that one. So my mother's here. Hello, Mother.
Hi, Lynn.
Hi.
Tanya has joined us, Susie and Carolina and Heather. Heather is our hockey expert in our book tribe. Carolina says Tortzen is her favorite. Oh, great. Now we're going to have to fight for him. Tanya says my hubby just makes cake with his new mixer. He doesn't make drinks. He only makes cake.
That's amazing, though.
She's like, I really need him to start making me foo-foo drinks instead. Heather says, yes, it's the best ginger beer ever. Costco sells it, Leah.
I saw that.
Anyway.
Thank you, Heather. Thank you.
That
for
is the
letting me know.
update in the chat right now. So
Do you want to put her Instagram up? And while we were doing that,
will.
so let's get to know you a little bit, Gina. So you talked about like how you used to travel a lot. I'm probably assuming I mean, nobody travels right now, but in all of your travels, what was your favorite place to visit?
Okay. So I'll tell you, I used to travel a lot because I used to work for an airline. So, so yeah, that's like really why I traveled a ton for about 2 years. And my favorite place I've ever been ever is Rome, Italy. My son's actually named Rome. It's my like favorite city in the world. My husband and I got married in Italy. I very much have this dream of living in Rome sometime in the near future. So that's like my all-time favorite place. But my favorite place that I've ever been to that was not really like I never thought I would actually go to, and it happened when I was working for an airline, was South Africa.
Oh, really?
It was just such a cool experience. I'd never been horseback riding before. And then we did like a little horseback riding adventure on a gaming reserve a bit outside of Johannesburg. And it was like the first time in my life I ever saw, the sky meet land in terms of the horizon, because I've always lived near cities. We got to see all the animals, and it was just majestic, and it was so cool. Yeah.
Sounds awesome.
So it was awesome. It was really fun.
I like Rome a lot. I've been to Rome.
Yeah.
When I was in college, I took a art history course, and we went to Italy like for 10 days. We did Rome, Florence, and Venice. And Florence was my favorite, but Rome was really cool, and Venice was really neat, but it was very smelly from like the canals and stuff. But like the glass work that you could see there was pretty awesome.
Yeah. It's incredible. I know. I think a lot of people, when you think Venice, you have like the old school image in your mind, and then you go, and it's obviously like a more contemporary city now with everyday things happening. And so it's different.
It's really cool. Like we went to a lot of, I mean, it was an art history class. We went to a lot of like cathedrals and museums and all that stuff, but it was awesome. Like Florence is my favorite, but it was the easiest to navigate also. So I think that was part of it.
Leah didn't get lost.
Well, no, I did get lost, but it was easy to get unlost.
There you go.
We ended up in a not so good area, but that's a moot point.
Part of the college study abroad experience.
Exactly. I feel like you don't really experience it unless you get lost in a foreign city.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
So are you a reader of romance?
Yes, I am a big time reader of romance. I have always been like a massive, huge reader. Always had like tons of books in my backpack going to school. I've always loved reading very much. Romance, though, I would say is more like I didn't read as much romance younger as I do now. I started reading a lot of romance more, I think like after I had kids, actually, because it's just, they're such quick reads, and I feel like I don't feel like I could read like a book a night.
And you don't feel guilty about it.
I just spilled drink like down my chin. Oh, I'm a hot mess over here.
Okay.
It's been a long ass day.
So what was your last 5-star read?
Okay, so this week I completely binged, and I actually just messaged her to tell her Charity Farrell's Twisted Fox series.
Isn't it good?
Have you? Yes. Oh my God.
I haven't read that yet.
You should. You're missing out.
You have to read it. Yeah.
Okay.
Like I read all the books this week, and I finished Straight Up 2 nights ago, and I was just like, Charity, I need to know what happens next.
I know. So excited I actually signed up for the arc for the next one, so I'm super excited. I can't wait. Yes. It's going to be so good. It
comes out next month.
I know. That's the downsides. Like we have to wait. It's the waiting that gets you.
I know. Sometimes I don't know whether I should, like, I'm so excited about so many books, and I read them the day they come out. And then sometimes I think I should just wait until the whole series is done so I can just have a marathon binge reading.
I do that sometimes. It depends on the author for me, but sometimes like I will wait till the last one and I just read like 6 books in a day.
Yes.
I have zero patience to do that. I have to read them like as soon as I get my hands on them.
But I don't like the wait. I don't like waiting. I need to know what happens.
I don't like not knowing what is going on. Like,
especially when everyone else is talking about it.
Well, that's true.
And we'll get to it, but like both of us are sitting here earlier today, we were chatting and I'm like, gonna need James' story, like,
Oh, yeah.
Like not the next one.
He's not the next one.
What?
I could have sworn he was the next one.
Austin.
I told you it was Austin. You're like, no, he's last.
I think,
I'm
I thought he'd
sorry.
been last. I'd put money on him being
Sorry.
last. He's going to fall hard, too.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Okay, we'll get to that in a
I'm
second.
excited.
6 books in a day, Leah. That's what Heather says. 6 books in a day.
Well, it could it has been known to happen.
I was going to say,
I've done it before.
I had 3 earlier this week in a day. I just did nothing. Like, nothing else got accomplished.
Yeah.
We're fast readers.
Yes, though.
We're both, like, really fast readers, so that helps.
I'm the same. Yes, I understand.
So what's your favorite
Really?
trope, either to read or to write?
Okay, so I feel like the faker was exciting for me because marriage of convenience and like fake relationship, fake dating in general are it's like my favorite trope to read, but I never thought I would actually write one. And so this was my first attempt at it. And I just loved writing. I absolutely loved writing Riel and Torsten's story. Also I love second chance romance, and I write a lot of second chance romance and I read a lot of second chance romance. So that's probably like my traditional favorite.
Yeah, fake relationships are like Heather, like who loves hockey. That's like her crack right there.
Yeah.
A fake relationship.
Yeah, we love a good fake relationship. Earlier this week, there was a sign up that came out, and I had told Leah, I'm not doing any more arcs. I'm not taking any more books for the next month. And she's like, okay, sure. And then I'm like, damn it. Kylie Scott has a new book coming out called Faker, and it's a fake relationship. And I'm like, damn it. So now,
How to sign up.
She did. Of course she did. I was like, I'm not surprised. So in the chat, you'll find Gina's Amazon link, and Becky will give you the Amazon spiel and how amazing it is.
Okay. So if you've never watched one of our lives before, I constantly tell people, follow your favorite authors on Amazon. It is just as good as, it's not as good, but it is a help to them for their search algorithm. Still review the author, but also follow them. It will tell you when pre-orders go up. It'll tell you when books release, so that if you forget to pre-order, you know that the book is out. And that is just super helpful to the authors. So if you're not following them on Amazon, make sure you follow them on Amazon. So it helps me because I always forget to pre-order. So then I see the little notice, oh, your book is out. Okay, gotta buy that one.
Mm-hmm. And Carolina says she loves a fake relationship also. So.
It's a great
book
trope.
was so good.
It is. So is there one trope you were least likely to write, or one that you don't think you would ever write, one that you don't like to read?
I like to read them, but I don't think I'll ever write them, would be love triangles. I feel like it's really hard to write a love triangle. And I love like Jessica Hawkins. I feel like she's the queen of them. And I love her books. And I get so into them. But I think she does such an amazing job of sort of balancing all the emotions out. And I think it would be very difficult to write like a love triangle where at some point, usually the male figure, let's say, that we really are rooting for in the beginning, we start to despise. And like the guy that we're despising in the beginning, we start to love. And I think that's really tough balance to, it's like you're towing the line. And also insta love. I can read an insta love. I don't love to read an insta love, but I can read an insta love, but I don't love, like, I feel like they're a little bit unrealistic. So I don't think I'd be able to write one.
That's fair.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I like an insta love.
I was going to say, I love an insta love. But I think that, again, it's something that you can either do it really well, or it can kind of feel fake. We had Lexi Ryan on last week for a happy hour, and she loves to write a love triangle. And in all of her books, there's a little bit of a love triangle in them. And her editor will tell her all the time, you're starting to write a love triangle. Stop it. So, but there were other ones that she's like, I don't think I could write that. We're like, okay, that's fair. I love a secret baby. That's my favorite trope.
I love a secret baby too.
All the secret baby. Everybody's always like, Becky.
I don't think I have a favorite trope.
You don't?
Just like, I don't.
Do you read
I just
like
love so many. There's some that I won't read. Like I honestly, I have a hard time with a love triangle. It depends on how it's written. Like a Lexi Ryan love triangle, I can handle, but they're not like in your face
cheating
love triangles.
Yeah. Okay.
So but yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a preference. If it's
in
a
it
book,
for the romance.
if it's a book, I'll read it.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Pretty much can get her to read anything.
This
I'm
is
the
true.
same
Gina,
way.
how long have you been writing romance? Because I've read a couple in your Chicago series. That's actually how I found you before the hockey series. Was I read the last two of the Second Chance Chicago.
Okay. Thank you.
So, and I really liked them. The last one was The Single Dad with
Yeah, Healing My Heart.
yes, that was so
Yeah.
good. It was so good. And I
Thanks.
don't love Second Chance. So that one was like, I was like, the single dad part is what got me, but that one was really well done. I really liked it. So how long have you been writing romance?
So I published my first book in 2015. So I'd say I started writing I started writing, like I've always written for fun, and it was like kind of always writing like children's stories growing up. And then I moved to New York and I started taking writing classes as a way to meet people. And that was sort of how I started writing. And then I moved abroad when I worked for an airline. I lived in Qatar in the Middle East. And I kept writing with my online writing classes just to stay connected. And I wrote a young adult book. And it was kind of by accident. It was like, it started out as flash fiction, and then it sort of became a short story, and then it became a novel. And that was the first book that I actually self-published. And at the time, that's when I really started reading romance. And I thought, oh gosh, I would absolutely love to try writing one of these. So I wrote The Last First Game, and that came out in like the later November 2015. So it's been like 6 years now ish. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've been in it a minute. And are you completely self-published?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you kind of came in
completely
at the,
self-published.
what did we figure out? 2011 was the start of the self-publishing kind
Somewhere
of
around there, yeah.
push. It happened a little bit before then, but that's when like the market was really growing. So you kind of came in at the height of the market. Now, do you feel like there's tons more self-published indie authors now, and you're kind of wading through it?
Well, a little. I feel like the industry to me seems like it's always changing. And in the beginning, so like The Last First came out, I think November 15th. My first child was born November 13th. So it was like, so I have 3 small children, and I feel like for me, self-publishing and writing has been incredible because it's something I've been able to continue while like being at home with my kids. And we've moved countries several times. And so everything's always kind of been in flux. But I feel like I've taken so much time off in between books in the beginning that when I really kind of buckled back down in 2018, nothing was like it was in 2015. So it was a little bit of a chaotic restart. I almost felt like I was starting 100% over.
Yeah, I can see that. I think that I've been working in publishing for 2 years, and what it was 2 years ago, it is completely different than what it is now. And I tend to work more with publishers than I do with indie authors. And I think publishers are even having to change their ways in how they release and do things because the industry is demanding, the readers are demanding different things and more frequent books, really.
Yeah.
I mean, as you heard us say, we need the next book, next week would be great.
Like tomorrow, right? Yeah, I know.
I mean, if you wanted to tell us that you could send it to us tomorrow, okay.
We would
not going to be sad.
I will send it to you as soon as it is
We
properly.
can wait. We can wait.
Guys.
We will only bug you a little bit. So what's going on with Austin? How's he handling things today?
I appreciate it. I'm gonna actually finish the book tomorrow. I'm writing the last final little bit tomorrow morning, and then
I like
so
to
it's coming.
hear these things.
It's almost done.
So for your writing process itself, are you a pantser or are you a planner?
I feel like I'm a hybrid. Okay. I love Gwen Hayes' Romancing the Beat. I think like that book was so helpful to me because it's like, you kind of create a beat sheet, and I feel like if I have all the main plot points hammered out, then I can have a lot of flexibility within those different sections. And so that's kind of how I do it. I like sit down, I have a pretty broad idea of what's happening and where it's going to end up and what the major conflict and tension points are going to be. And then I just go with it.
So you have
and a lot of times.
a really rough outline and then fill in from there.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of times that like always it happens around between 20 and 25,000 words. I'm like, oh no, I need to start over. And so I've done this several times where I like completely start over from page one. But once I get to 30,000 words, I'm like, whew, that's it. I know that I'm in it for the long haul and it's going. Yes, that's like the big stress point for me.
So Susie has asked, how long does it take you to write a book from start to finish?
Okay, so this is always changing for me. It used to take me like maybe 3 to 4 months because my kids were all home and I would only write for a little bit every day. But now since January, all of my children are now in like daycare and little school, nursery all day. And so it's so funny because it's not funny, but it's just incredible to me. I feel like in 2 days now I can get done what I used to do in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's amazing what happens when there's not kids around.
Right? I know the first couple of days I thought, oh my gosh, they went and I was like, oh, I'm going to miss them so much. And I did, but then the day flew by because I was like, oh my God, I did the whole list like for the week.
Well, it's so quiet crazy. Too.
So quiet. Yeah. So the Faker actually, and I've never written a book this quickly in my life, but I wrote it in 3 weeks. And I just, like, I couldn't stop writing it. I was like waking up early before my kids to write. I was writing all day. I was writing after they went to bed at night. And I think that's why I feel like now I'm struggling with Austin's story because that's like the only time that flow. Yeah. And I mean, it's never happened before, but now I try to write like a book in about 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay. Well, and I will say with the Faker, there's such a flow to that story. It was one of those, like, seriously, do not start this at 9:00 at night or you'll be up till 4 a.m. Well, you could be up till like 4 a.m. like I was the night that I read it. Like I did. I messaged Leah. I'm like, 4 a.m. She's like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, I don't know. I just couldn't.
Well, no, because I was up till 2 that night.
I couldn't stop. This book was so great. And there's just this flow to the story and a natural progression for the two of them. And I'm not going to lie, there was a moment where, you know, Torsten needed to get dick punched a little bit when he started acting like a jackass over in Norway. Right, bit. Norway? What?
Yes, Norway.
Yeah, Norway. Yeah.
She called it Sweden earlier, so.
Yeah, I said Sweden earlier, so I'm going to screw that up.
Right area, wrong spot.
Yeah, but he was such an asshole.
I know. It broke my heart.
Such an asshole.
He did.
But, and I like, when she gave the ring back and went back to New York, and anyway, the ending was perfect too. The ending was perfect, and I will not spoil it. I promise, guys. I cannot. That ending, because it's the resolution I like. I like when it is this natural, like, progression and realization of the female character. I don't want to be like saving herself, but figuring out her own stuff and then realizing where she needs to be for them to have the HEA. And I think there's magic in those stories. It doesn't make you feel like, you know, she had to sacrifice herself to be with him. He didn't have to sacrifice who he was to be with them. That, you know, what was so magical about the two of them was who they were. And sometimes in romance, we'll see that we're like the heroine, you know, has to give up who she is so that they can be together for the resolution. And this one, it wasn't that. This was coming to terms with who you are and loving what you are. And it was beautiful and I loved it. But you kind of have that. That's kind of a theme with all of your, at least in this hockey series, for sure.
Yeah, because I felt like with Noah and Indy, it went like that also. Like they had like their issue, but it wasn't like I need him to make me better. It was like I need to be better on my own. Like I can do this on my own, but he makes me a better person. He helps me be more me.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was something that was important to me, especially writing sports romance, where you have, you know, the heroes are all these professional athletes who are financially stable, who are doing most likely their dream career. And so in a lot of ways, they're like more established, especially when the heroines are younger. And so I don't know. I just felt like it was important to show that it wasn't like it wasn't as if the heroine had to give up her dreams or give up her future plans or give up the chance to sort of explore what she wanted out of life or what creative pursuits she wanted to follow just because she was dating or fell in love with a professional athlete.
Well, and I think with Easton and Claire, like you really like that was such a strong story because Easton, like he has so many demons and so many like faults, but he is working past those. And it I loved the way like the journey his character went and like how organic his story was because he's so true to that type of problem, like so true to the fight that he has on a daily basis. And I love how like Claire was so supportive of his recovery, so supportive of him, but she was like, I need to do this for myself also, like this is important to me.
Okay,
thank you.
So real quick,
I'm glad to hear
this. So just come in and talk to us, and I'll just build you up and tell you all the amazing things you're doing with the books you're writing.
You're making me blush.
We're all about.
Carolina says he cooks her breakfast.
Right there. Carolina she's curl up with books on Instagram, and so she's one of our book tribe. That after I read Sweet Talker, I was like, everybody needs to read these. I'm not even joking. So like.
Thank you, Carolina.
So everyone says the ending was a chef's kiss. Oh, hey, Demi, welcome back. She came back to join us. And Heather says Tortson's husband game is strong. The wedding just made me fall in love.
I love that.
When he went the extra mile on the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I mean, so romantic, right?
It was
so romantic.
And then
unexpected.
Norway happened.
Well, and then Norway happened. I was really worried. We could talk about it here in a second. So I am putting Buzzing About Romances on TikTok. If you guys are on TikTok, follow us on TikTok. The Faker was one of my spotlight releases this week over there on TikTok. So follow me for book recs. Don't do it.
So why did you
rabbit hole?
Why did you choose a hockey romance?
Okay, so this kind of came out of 2020, to be honest. I just was devouring hockey romances. Like I read everything: Serena Bowen, Marilyn Kelly, Odette Stone, and I now live in Canada, and I feel like hockey's huge here.
You're immersed in hockey.
Yes, and I was like, oh, I'm reading them all the time, surrounded by a lot of hockey. We went last summer to Muskoka. I'd never been to Muskoka before, and while we were there, I started plotting in my head, and that's when I decided to write this series, and that's why I have Easton and Austin and Noah meet in Muskoka at a summer camp, because that's really where the idea came from. So I've sort of been like thinking about this series I was like thinking about Torsten and Riel for like 6 or 7 months. So I also think that's why it like flowed when I started to write it, because I had spent so much time thinking about them and kind of hammering out details in my head. But yeah, that's like really why I was loving it. And I watched the show Hockey Wives. I don't know if anyone else watches that show, but
I've not.
I don't even
we
know
don't
what
have
that show
cable,
is.
so
We don't either. So
seems like
a Heather
hockey
type of show.
bubbles. Heather says all the hockey bubbles were in Canada last summer too, so that apparently.
Yeah. I don't know, the timing just seemed right. I was like, well, I want to try this. And it's funny because I'm not like, I love sports romance to read, but I don't know a lot about hockey or football. I just love reading them. And then I sort of get into it and I'm like researching it all the time. That's kind of what happened.
Well,
here, yeah.
Heather is our hockey guru. She's Minnesota Hockey Mom Reads on Instagram. If you have hockey questions, she's like the ultimate hockey mom. So
she is. She's like, I'm reading this, or like I'm listening from hockey practice tonight.
She'll often be like, I can't come tonight to this thing because stupid kids have hockey. And we're always like, it's okay. I mean, you can spend time with other people.
It's like from my friends here whose children play, like if my kids are still too small, but I mean, it seems like a wildly demanding sport. So
I feel like there's always this running joke in like certain areas where like they're on hockey skates before they can walk.
Yeah.
So
yes.
So why Boston?
I love Boston. I absolutely love Boston. It's a city that I wish I had the experience to live in, and I never did. But we went up a bunch of times when I was looking at colleges because I really was thinking about applying to colleges there. So I sort of combined Boston because I love it so much, and then Hawks was the mascot of my college team, and so Boston Hawks. That's how that came about. But yeah, I don't know. I love the city, and I feel like it's such a fun city, and their sports are fans are so passionate about all the sports there. So I thought it's a nice setting. And I mean, hockey, there's you have a lot of hockey players. You still have that cold feel to it that it would be a winter sport. So
to be honest, I loved it because a lot of our hockey romances we see like Chicago
or New York
or New York
or Philly.
Sawyer Bennett does North Carolina. Now she has her Arizona team. We've seen some in LA, some in Seattle. So it was nice to get that Boston area. I kind of liked that. I think too that there's a lot of option for scene setting and potential for characters in it because Boston in and of itself is like its own character. You know, you have like he lives in Southie and she like isn't even 3 streets from him and she's in the ghetto and he's, you know, living in a multi-million-dollar penthouse.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's the thing about Boston too, is it's such a city, but it also has like a lot of neighborhoods. It's not like city like New York where it's so kind of like big. I don't know. I just feel like it has a little bit more of a smaller, not like that vibe to it where.
And I love how like with Indy and Noah, like you did like the tour of Boston and like they went to see like all these different things. And it's like, cause I had visited Boston a few years ago on a trip and it's like, we did that, and we did that, and we did that. It's like, I remember going there.
Well, that also made him a bit swoony too, that he was willing to do all of that stuff. You know, that kind of added to his book boyfriend material in our little checklist. So
I'm glad. Yeah. Like be a tourist in your own city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know. I can just go on and on.
I feel like not enough people do that. Like they don't appreciate like the things that they have. Like I grew up in the country, so it doesn't really count for me, but in a way it does because I grew up near like a state park and people are like, oh, I like to go hike there. I'm like, oh, that's nice. I don't think I've hiked there in like years. Like I drive through like the covered bridge almost every day, but I couldn't tell you anything about it because like it was just natural to us. Like I lived up the hill from it. It wasn't anything like it was just
fancy.
Like it wasn't anything fancy for us.
So, okay, so I kind of have to ask, your characters, the dudes all have these big swoony moments for them, you know, is your husband a romantic? Is he?
I feel like he's a little bit, he kind of appears in all of my male characters.
We're totally putting you on the spot here. And she's like, I hope he's not watching right now. Please.
Like, I don't know if I should say this.
No, it's okay. He would love that we're talking about him, really. He's not like a gushy romantic, but he does do like very swoony things. And so I'll actually tell you like the best thing he ever gave me was he wrote me a book and it was awesome. Actually, it was like much more sci-fi and I was so blown away. So one year for Christmas, he wrote me a book and it was like 40,000 words and it was very cool. Sweet. Yeah. And so he does very creative, swoony moments and cool gifts that are very thoughtful, but he's like, he's not like very gushy or anything like that. It's just,
I still think that's really sweet though, because
I think writing you a book is very gushy.
Yeah, it was cool. It was honestly the best gift ever. It was very cool.
Because really none of your characters do big gushy things. It's, you know, sweet, understated type
it's
things.
The little things. It's like all those little things like the breakfast and just the tiny, like thoughtful things that they do.
Yeah, that's my husband for sure. He does all the tiny, thoughtful things, like on a daily basis. I mean,
that's so awesome. Because like Easton, it was just the moment, like the way he built her up in her career and saying, you know, why aren't you doing it this way? Why would you, you know, not put yourself out there? And he had confidence in her when she didn't have it in herself. And I think that that's just really sweet. And that made him very swoony, the way that he just had this undying support of her while he was facing all his own challenges. He still just couldn't get enough of her. So I don't know. I just really love this series. Like, I'm not even kidding.
Thank you.
And Heather put in the chat, she's like, she gave us the Rule Maker is June 23rd, which we know is Austin's story. The Defender is August 5th, which we know is James. And the Heart Chaser is Panda, who comes out on the 27th.
Yeah.
Oh, Panda.
Oh,
That
Panda.
guy. Oh, Panda.
I think he's going to be fun.
He's going to be a wild ride, I venture to guess.
I'm looking, not that I'm not looking forward to Austin, but like James and Pandas, like I think I'm looking forward to those the most, especially James. Like I just feel like you can go so many different ways with his book.
Yes. I'll tell you, James is going to be very emotional.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, James is emotional. Austin's a little bit more lighthearted. And Pandas he's giving me a run for my money. So
That's
with
what
a
we
name
like
like
to hear.
Panda.
yeah. Luca Pandatelli.
Okay, I'm going to put Gina's newsletter in the links. If you aren't signed up for her newsletter, I totally suggest that you do. You can find out all the things in the newsletter. Also, join her Facebook group. It is a very nice group of people, and they're very engaging over there in your group, which we don't always see, but your group is like super engaging. So
It's lovely. Yeah, thank you. Come hang out.
Just come hang out. You can be with me as I stalk Gina. Like, I swear, after I messaged you about the Sweet Talker, and I was like, I looked at my husband and I'm like, she's really going to think I'm stalking her.
No,
You have a tendency to do that though.
I do. I had to come up with a better approach to not stalk so many authors.
We just want to be friends with everybody.
I do. Well,
Come on, I feel like everyone feels that way now. We haven't seen anybody in a year.
Yes, absolutely.
So this is
very
so
true.
Nice.
It
We're
is.
back in lockdown here too.
Are you really?
Yes. So thank you for chatting with me.
I think I saw
over
that because
drinks.
Kelly Jameson is not too very far from you in Ontario. And she was complaining about lockdown. And then a couple days ago, she shared something on Twitter, fussing about the Canadian government and no vaccines yet for you guys.
It's been really hard. Yeah, because right now, my kids are all small. And so the little nursery type school that they go to is technically classified as a daycare. And so it's still open. But any actual schools from grade 1 and up are all closed.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's been really hard for a lot of people because nobody's kids are in school, which means if you even had to go to work, you couldn't work. So there's a lot more people leaving the workforce who don't necessarily want to be or could really be leaving the workforce. And it's been tough for many people. And it's been a long, I think nobody really saw this lockdown coming because everyone's, there's been several of them and we kind of all thought we were moving in a different direction when you look at the States and other countries. And
yeah. Well, I live in our county. I live in Ohio. And so our county is, it's not a very big county, 100,000 people. And we have the highest infection rate in the whole state of Ohio. And we're not even as big as Cleveland or Columbus or Cincinnati. We live in Findlay. We're teeny tiny. And so, yeah. It's frustrating. Just get your vaccines, people. And
I know. I can't wait to, I'm not eligible for anything. So we're just hunkered down at home.
Yeah. Well, four of the 5 in my house are fully vaccinated. My mother lives with me part-time. So 4 of the 5 of us. I have a 15-year-old, almost 16-year-old, and we're hoping here in the next couple weeks to be able to get hers.
Okay.
So, but you still get it. And then you're like, I don't know how to go outside. I don't know how to function and be with people. Who does that? I'll just stay here and hang out and talk about romance.
It's just easier.
It's just easier. I like these people better too.
Now.
Yep. Yep. I like all these better.
I think a positive thing that has come out of this year has been a lot of those online connections and friendships and things that have relationships that have formed that maybe wouldn't have formed if we were all like working outside the house and very much
No,
engaged in
it's
our
how I met Becky.
day-to-day life.
And I'm
That's
like
this.
pointing at you.
Yeah, this podcast would not exist without this pandemic, because I've talked about it for years. 8 years I've talked about who I think I want to do a podcast. I really want to focus on romance. I love romance. 2 years ago, I went back into the workforce, got a job in beta reading and working for publishers and copy editing and formatting. And then, I actually, in March of last year, at the end of March of last year, I lost my contracted job with a big name publisher because they shut their New York offices and sent everyone home, and then started picking and choosing what contracts they still wanted to keep. And then I had time on my hands, and my husband was like, well, I'm working from home too. Let's do this. So end of June, I was like, here we go. Shake the dice and see what happens. And here we are.
Wow.
I wouldn't have had the time or the energy because I've been running kids and doing all the crazy stuff. And so, yeah, I mean, it's
So
awesome.
life
It's
is so,
exciting.
like silver lining. Yeah, it's incredible.
Because everyone's always like, oh, this has been such a hard year. And I'm like, really, it's been the best year of my life. I'll be 45 later
love
this year. And this has been the best year of my life. Like, I've found my tribe of people. I'm doing something I'm passionate about. I know, like, after almost being 45, I finally have like a career and a job I love and freedom to be with my kids, and my husband is supportive. So really the pandemic has been phenomenal for me. And then I have all these amazing ladies that are part of our little book tribe that we just adore. And I got Leah. And so I wouldn't have had it without a pandemic, because you get so busy in your day to day and going. And so, and then I wouldn't have time to stalk authors. So
That's true.
But that's really wonderful. Like, I'm so happy for you, because that's incredible. It's like, it's so nice to hear like a very positive, uplifting story that's come out of like this past year. So congratulations.
Thank you.
It's awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's been a really good year for me. I can't complain. Other than I really need Mexican from an eating out restaurant. Like, I need to go to a restaurant, eat Mexican, because it does not take out well. So
It's so true. I know.
it just doesn't.
Tequila, the Mexican fusion restaurant.
Right. Is there a real Mexican fusion restaurant that you've been to?
No, I just wish there was one. I like dreamed it into existence. There's none by where I live for sure that I know. I don't know of any. So I think it. Yes, exactly. I have to eat Mexican food every year on my birthday, and so yeah.
I love that.
There is a
are
Mexican
people.
restaurant nearby. Yeah, yes. There's a
people.
Mexican restaurant by where I live though that does serve sushi nachos. And they're
Really?
phenomenal.
So those are a real thing.
Those are a real thing, and they are fantastic. And I was very hesitant about ordering them, and then I was like, "Oh my god, I have to get this every single time I come here." So
The first time, so in Sweet Talker, when we first go into the restaurant for the first time, and you're describing the sushi nachos and all of this, like, I legit was like, this is so made up. This is so made up. This is going to be a joke. Like, in the end of all of this is totally going to be a joke. And then it just keeps showing up. And I'm like, well, this food sounds really amazing that they're describing. And I'm just like, okay, this isn't a joke. This has to be a real restaurant somewhere.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I don't know, the definitely this item on the menu, it stands out. So that it's got like its own twist, but sushi nachos are real and they are awesome. The next time I go, I'm going to take a picture. I don't know when that will be, but when I do,
Because those are not something you can get delivered.
Feel free to tag us in that picture, and we will, share it to
We
everybody.
need
and be
proof
like,
of the sushi nachos.
sushi nachos.
So
Go ahead,
Becky
Leah.
has a favorite hawk, but do you? And I do too, but
yeah. I know, it's so hard, right? For me, I feel it's Torsten for me, and
I'm gonna fight you for him.
I mean, she wrote him. She kind of gets dibs.
Damn it, he is mine. I'm already fighting Heather for him. Like,
Heather has so many she loves. Like she can just give one up.
so earlier in January, at the end of January, I guess the episode came out the first Sunday in February, Heather and I, we drafted our top hockey book boyfriends. We each drafted 3 lines. So I'm going to get it wrong. 3 offensive players, 2 defensive players, and a goalie. And we did that 3 times, and we couldn't repeat any of our players. So we keep saying we're going to have to come back and do it now because we have new book boyfriends that we need to redraft into our draft. So every time we come up to like a hockey player that's a book boyfriend, Heather's always like, dibs. Dibs, I get him.
Carolina says Torsten is mine.
Jeez. Oh,
And hockey
Heather would
says
like
a hockey reverse harem.
That's what Heather wants, is a hockey reverse
A
harem.
hockey reverse harem.
I'd read that.
I don't know if I could write that, but I'm intrigued.
Somebody
She
should.
didn't say no.
That's true. We are bad influences on people.
Keep it in the back of my mind.
Even just like a polyamorous hockey relationship might be fun.
That's true.
Just saying.
Ideas. So many
That
thoughts.
could create so
Ideas.
much drama on the team too. Like,
That's true.
Susie says
true.
that would be good.
Guys are planting little seeds.
Heather
No,
says
see, you guys
2
can
forwards.
have Torsten. I'll take Easton.
Yeah, okay.
That little bit of damaged hero. I
know. I like it.
can see it. I can see that.
Mhm.
I can
Anyway.
too. I sort of found that people I feel like everyone liked Noah because Noah's a nice guy, but it was
Mhm.
like people felt much more strongly about either Easton or Torsten.
Mhm. Yeah, like Noah was
It was
good, but he
funny.
wasn't like he was
He's
he was a nice
very
guy.
likable.
He's the nice
Very
guy.
likable. He's the nice guy.
Well,
Mhm.
he
He's a nice guy.
is. And Indy, she's just such a force
Mhm.
that I think that there are parts in that book where Indy is the bright shining star. You would think that, I mean, that was her book, and she totally is a book girlfriend. I want to have drinks with her. I want to have talks with her. She's just one of those girls that you're going to call in your moments of success and your moments of heartache. And you see that in The Faker too, when things are happening and they have to come in
Say
and have
her
their own
name.
little.
Say her name.
No, because I'm going to say it wrong. You know
say
this.
her
Stop it.
name.
And I've had
Becky
Wow,
cannot
this
pronounce names.
Well, and I've had a lot to drink. I think like 4 or 5 tequila shots in this. Because
Words
like
are
my
getting
tongue is
hard.
feeling heavy. And I've been up
Wait, is
since
it
5
me?
a.m.
Yes. That's early.
Oh, it's crazy.
Early.
It's
Yes,
crazy.
my
show.
girl child had a working interview this morning for a potential job, and it was from 6 a.m. till noon at the doggy daycare up the street.
Wow, that is a very long interview though.
Yes, but doesn't everybody want to work at a doggy daycare and play with the puppies? I mean, I guess you have to be a
ideal.
dog person,
When,
It's
So-
true.
when,
Not everybody
when will
likes
she find
dogs.
out?
right?
I like dogs. When will she find out?
Well, she's been offered the job. She just has to make the decision if that's what she wants to do. She just, it's her first job. She's a
It's scary.
perfectionist. She doesn't want to do anything wrong, but she'll be amazing. So I think she'll
Yeah.
take it and start next week. It's hard.
Good for her.
She's
Yeah.
a good kid. She's a smart kid. So we'll take her at least for a little bit today. The boy child, another conversation. He's been anyway. So you write very strong female characters that are super determined and independent. I really like this about your ladies. They have a sassy fun side. Tequila shots seem to always lead to trouble. Is this
that's
like
reality right there.
a little bio graphical there for you?
No, but tequila is my favorite drink of choice. So I feel like tequila just reminds me of college. And I know I have to start giving people other drink choices, but I'm like, it's just
No,
so
you
fun.
don't. You don't. Tequila works.
I think it's in all my books though. I think it's always tequila.
It's
But
okay.
yeah, it's
I like a good tequila. I
If
used
I
to
wrote
do
a book, it'd
tequila
be
shots with
vodka.
my professors. So they would.
See?
I was in art school. It's like a whole different world, but yeah, we would do tequila shots with our professors at the bar. It's always good times.
That. See, tequila in college, they just go together.
They go
And then
hand in hand.
you have those fuzzy memories to carry you through for the rest. So
It's true.
yeah.
Tequila. Like, yeah.
So Tanya says she's going to do it. I'm assuming they're talking about the reverse harem thing. And she's like,
No,
Auntie
they're
Tanya
talking about
says it.
Sydney. They're talking about girl
okay.
child. They're talking about girl child.
I missed that. Auntie Tanya says it, so it's true.
Auntie Tanya says it, so she's going to do it. Okay, so where are we at? Leah, do you want to get your game out for us?
I do. So we're going to do a word association game.
Okay.
So I'm going to say a word, and then you have 10 seconds to say the first word that you think of.
Okay.
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 Are we ready?
Yeah,
I am.
guys, if you're in the chat, you can't Harry Buffalo in college, says Tanya. Tanya, I think that is showing our age because I believe younger people do not know what Harry Buffalo is. Because they call it something else. Well, some people call it jungle juice, like where you throw all the fresh fruit in the
but
cooler.
no, because my parents called it
And
jungle juice, and they're old.
You pour all the available liquor
You just dump
into
the
the fruit.
alcohol into a trash can, basically.
Yes.
It's very
Yes.
unsanitary.
I drink
And do you
liquor
have
out of
to
a trash
drink
can.
it with a turkey baster?
No.
Oh,
no.
what's that?
Remember this? This was my college weekend at Penn State.
Okay.
But I think they were called gin buckets. So I don't know if you only do, but I remember that there were turkey basters, and I was very impressed.
Interesting.
Yes,
That
I'm
has
gonna
some
have to write that
potential.
into something now. Yeah,
That's interesting. You'll have to write that into a book.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, there you go.
Although I don't know, I feel like characters would have to be much younger for that to not be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tanya says kegs of Rolling Rock show our age. Really? No, the Bud Light beer balls. That's what really shows our age. From the 90s. Anyway, Tanya and I are old.
But Heather said she would do liquid lunches with her elementary professor, her elementary ed professor. So she knows what it's like to drink with the professors.
You all are so awesome.
We are.
Okay, so I think that everybody that's watching is a member of our Patreon, but if there's anyone watching that's not a member of our Patreon and you would like to get in on things like Drunk Book Club, and we have a reading check-in tomorrow night, you can find us on patreon.com/bookcaseandcoffee, and we do lots of fun things over there. So that's that. So Susie says, I'm old. We drink jungle juice out of our garbage cans. Oh, and Zima. Stop it, Tanya. She's
Remember
like,
Zima?
Zima and
with
Jelly
the
Ranchers. Okay, play your game.
Okay.
Before Tanya dates me anymore over there.
It's okay. Ready? Series.
Yes. Driven series
Bacon.
by Kay Bromberg. Oh, vegetarian.
Oh,
Oh,
she's
sorry. Romance.
Books.
Heaving.
Oh, jungle juice.
Happy.
What was that, Leah? What was the last one?
Happy.
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 Smile.
Tequila.
Yes.
Clearly, just yes.
Jersey.
Me. New Jersey.
Cold.
Canada.
Cover.
Blanket.
Coffee.
Yes. Lots.
Lots.
Ripped.
Sorry.
Ripped.
Jeans.
Bakery.
Oh, cronuts.
Oh,
I don't know
cronuts.
what
It's like a new thing I've discovered. I know I'm always many years behind a trend.
Oh,
like
I am
several
too.
years.
If it's cool, I know nothing about it.
So our local
Same.
donut shop takes the croissant dough and puts it like in little balls and fries it like a fritter with like apple in it.
Oh,
It is
sounds
so good.
amazing.
They call them critters instead of fritters.
Oh yeah, cute.
They're so yummy though. So yummy. Anyway,
That sounds really
like-
awesome.
I like a baked good. I'm a
Do
fan.
You too.
Okay, book.
Boyfriend.
Right.
Books.
Right? Books.
Read.
Everything.
Chocolate.
Hershey's.
Hockey.
Romance.
Spine.
Spine?
Mhm.
Spine?
Stein.
Wait, like spide?
Spine.
Like,
Spine, like the spine of a book. Colorful.
Yeah. That was
don't know
Becky's word.
well, I had just watched a TikTok where these people are like breaking the spines of their books.
It's the worst thing ever.
And it's like nails on a chalkboard. Yes, Tanya, Fort Finley, they have critters. Just tell Brooke Becky sent you. So. My friends own the donut shop.
Oh, nice.
Well, they also roast coffee too there. So.
Sounds great.
They're my
Does
best
It's
sound
nice
friends.
great.
to have a little local spot like that.
It is. It is. My daughter actually helped make a coffee, and she designed the label for it too. It's called
cool.
Unicorn Coffee. Anyway, if the borders ever open up, I'll ship it to you.
Thank you. And I'll ship you some rum.
There we go.
Dad bod.
The first thing I thought it was my husband.
It's not a bad thing.
No, it's not. It's not. It's great.
See, best dad bod ever is her husband.
Yeah.
Format.
I'm just gonna think Chicago, but I'm thinking Chicago style.
That's okay. That's
I am a nerd. I will admit it.
That's
I
okay.
used to like love writing my college papers.
oh, Tanya's a spine breaker on her books.
Tanya, that is
Tanya.
not cool. Not
Tanya,
cool,
you might have to
Tanya.
pay a fine.
Break the spine, pay the fine.
Fine. Yeah. I don't know, Tanya. We're gonna have to have some talks.
Can
Anyway,
you be friends with Tanya anymore?
I don't know. I mean, I have to question like the whole past like 35 years of our lives. I mean, I don't know how that's possible since apparently she says we're only 29,
29 and holding.
right? For a lot of years.
Okay, drive.
R. Can't wait till the
Austin?
border opens.
Austin?
Merrick.
Pages.
To read.
And that's all I got.
That's all you've got.
Sorry,
huh?
I'm not good at
That's all
this
I've
game.
got.
That's okay. I'm not really good at it either because all of my answers over here were like, book. Like, I'm super original.
Becky was like, I needed some words. And Becky's like, I'll think of book themed words.
So
Yeah,
everything
no.
was book. Okay. Hey, if you guys are still with us, give us a hi and we'll pick the winner of the copies of the Boston Hawks and then $10 to the Starbucks because, you know, we all need coffee.
There's
Right?
not enough. There's not enough coffee in the world.
There's not. There's not. And then, so, you know, I got up so early this morning. I had my first cup of coffee at 5 a.m., took the girl child, did her thing. I was home by like 6:10, 6:15, drank another cup of coffee, went to bed and slept for a couple hours till the boy child had to get up. And then, like I just drank soda the rest of the day. And then tonight I'm sitting here going, oh, do I make a pot of coffee? And my husband's like, why don't you just drink one of the energy drinks? And I'm like, okay, so now like it's 10 o'clock. I'm fully caffeinated. Pretty sure I'm not going to bed tonight. So,
Read Charity Farrell, Twisted Fox.
okay,
Theory.
I can do this. We have Susie's
Yes.
here.
Yeah, it's really good.
Tanya.
I can't wait for the next one. It's gonna be so
Yeah.
good.
Okay, so
good.
you have like a fan club here, Gina. So you're gonna have to come back, like, because like Heather's like, could Gina be any cuter? I adore her.
Oh.
Everybody, like the comments are just like lighting up here. So
Thank you so much for inviting me and for hanging out and chatting. It's really, I'm
our
so
pleasure.
honored to be here. I'm so
It's our
excited when you
pleasure.
asked me.
you are welcome back.
Talk me anytime, please.
Stop. No, don't tell
So
us.
flattering.
That.
Carolina says that your answers were awesome because some of those words were crazy. That's because I was involved in those words, Carolina. And as we all know, Becky be
Words are
crazy.
hard.
Well, you know. And not everyone can see it, but my new t-shirt says Alpha, Beta, Billionaire, Cinnamon Roll, Bad Boy, and Single Dad. All my favorite kind of heroes. Anyway. So
Who
my
doesn't love
husband's
a
like,
cinnamon roll?
right?
I'm just like shouted that and I didn't mean to.
You can be really excited about a cinnamon roll hero. Do you have a favorite kind
I'm
of hero,
excited.
Gina?
I like to read. I really like the bad boys. I don't think they're harder for me to write, but I love to read like a good, yeah,
bad boy.
edgy bad boy. Yeah, totally.
But I think Easton was a little
What
bit of a
about you?
bad boy. He is
Yeah.
reforming, but he has a pretty bad boy history.
Yes, he does. He was one of my. I've written like a couple characters that are more like Easton, but I feel like it's more natural for me to write the nice guy.
The nice guy.
I like the nice
guy.
guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Gina, pick a number between 1 and 5.
3.
3. Okay, Miss Susie, you are our winner this evening. You can go ahead and just send us an email, becky@bookcaseandcoffee.com, and I will get copies of those books over to you along with a Starbucks gift card. So we're so excited. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And sorry.
No, that's okay. I was just going to remind everybody. So the first 3 books in the Hawk are out now, but you can find The Rule Maker, which is going to be Austin's story, coming out in June. So hang out with us and we'll get you all the details when all the books are coming out.
Because you know Becky and I, we will share you all the book details.
We'll be like, and you're welcome back anytime. Feel free to reach out and let us know if you would like to join us again. We're always happy to sit and talk.
Totally would.
Hockey romance.
So fun.
So, thank you.
Thanks for having me, and thank you everybody for hanging. Really, it's so fun. It's like such a nice. It's like the most social event I've had in so many months. So
well, we're so happy you joined us. It was delightful. It was fun to get to talk about the characters and, tell you all our opinions because it's going to change like how you do or write a story because Becky said it had to be this way. So it's not. It's not. Okay. Thanks everyone for joining us. Happy reading. And we'll see you next week. Next week, we have the hosts of the Dear Romance Writers podcast joining us. So that'll be Avery Flynn, Zio Axelrod, and Ronan Parrish with us next Friday night. And they'll be answering all of your romantic questions. So make plans to join us here on the YouTube next Friday night with those 3 lovely people. So happy reading, everyone. We'll see y'all soon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.